we should maybe deal with that quote, that meme, public water. Was it drinking water is not necessarily a human right? He did not say that. He's called Peter Brabeck-Letmathe. He's Austrian. He's now chairman. What's funny is I said Australian like I was reading it, and I was actually saying it off the top of my head. In my head, I fused Austria and Australia. Great synaptic news for you. Anyway, he's now chairman emeritus. He's no longer chairman, but chairman emeritus, which just sounds very smug to me, of Nestle, which apparently is undergoing some rebranding as a wellness company. How is your wellness? Later on, as part of your wellness program, we'll be doing some dream analysis with Dora Dale. What Peter Brabeck-Letmathe, the famous Australian, said is, it's a question of whether we should privatise It's a question of whether we should privatise the normal water supply for the population. And there are two different opinions on the matter, he said. The one opinion, which I think is extreme, is represented by the NGOs who bang on about declaring water a public right. That means that as a human being, you should have a right to water. That's an extreme solution. That's what he said. Having a right to water is an extreme solution. So it's not quite the same thing. It's almost darker. He then says, the other view says that water is a foodstuff, like any other. And like any other foodstuff, it should have a market value. Personally, I believe it's better to give foodstuff a value so that we're all aware it has its price, and then one should take specific measures for the part of the population that has no access to this water. And there are many different possibilities there. This very much goes up against the United Nations. On the 28th of July 2010, Resolution 64/292, they explicitly recognised the human right to water and sanitation and acknowledged that clean drinking water and sanitation are essential to the realisation of all human rights. The resolution calls upon states and international organisations to provide financial resources, help capacity building and technology transfer to help countries, in particular developing countries, to provide safe, clean, accessible and affordable drinking water and sanitation for all. We can only pray for those third world countries like America, where there is no safe drinking water for people. Here's the thing, water, free market, capitalism, it's all about choice. Here's the thing, you don't have much choice when it comes to water. You kind of have to have it. It's like air or gravity. Like, you can't not have it. And that's where it becomes a problem. I have tried, believe me, I have tried to hydrate solely through ice cream, and it's not easy. And people who believe in the doctrine of capitalism, like, whatever it is you believe in, look at the logical end game of it. What's if you take it to the nth degree, what does it become? And with capitalism, it becomes one Warren Buffett and a planet filled with slaves. That's the concept. One winner. It's the Darwinian model of I have everything, you have nothing. I have all the money. And people sort of talk about Darwinian things as being, it's good. Well, it's nature, isn't it? It's natural. It's natural. It's our natural. Naegleria fowleri is all natural. Nature is awful. Nature is one of the worst things ever. The only thing that we flatter ourselves to think differentiates us from other species is our capacity to defeat our nature, our capacity for compassion and shared endeavour. And, having thumbs. The truth is, most of our impulses and every governmental model on Earth and absolutely every commercial venture is rife with really base animalistic natural traits. So Peter Brabeck-Letmathe's concept that water is a foodstuff, it's a foodstuff. It's like, you could eat popcorn or crisps. And that like everything else, it must be commodified. It must be. It has to be. I have to have it. And that dear, wonderful, benevolent capitalism should take stewardship of the molecule that comprises 60% of all of our bodies. It's tantamount to assault or enslavement or something. If companies exclusively own 60% of me, well, in corporate terms, owning 60% of something gives you total control over it, doesn't it? And you can't say, but government will hold us to account. You see, I mean, it's the balance, isn't it? You know, government. If that's the case, then why did you spend millions of dollars on government? Because it seems to be a wonderfully plastic concept for you, or you wouldn't be wasting a penny on it. Can't wait for the election. Can you? So exciting.